Hey, welcome back everybody to another Mail Call Monday. I'm your host, the Duckman, and this right here is Boomer the Duck. And he's being a brat. Yeah, right now he'd rather play with me than just, be calm and just be snuggly. He likes to do that. As you can see, obviously he likes to bite. Biting is one of his things, and humping is his second. He eats as a third thing. He puts all those things ahead of food, which is kind of abnormal for a duck, but that's the way this one operates. Right, Boom? Today he played out in the yard for almost the entire day. That was kind of a surprise. I put him out in the yard. I expect him to play in the pool. By feeling his feathers, he's a little bit crusty, which means he never wound up in the pool today. Instead, he probably ran all over the backyard. And he managed to get out somehow down through the fence on the side of the yard. And I was watching a security camera when I'm sitting down at my desk, and I saw him at the front door. Like, what the hell is he doing up there? So I opened the front door and said, "Get your ass in here," and in he ran. And he jumped right into his little daytime box and immediately started drinking his water and eating his food. I don't know how long he was in the front yard. I'm glad there was no neighborhood dog running around, because he might have either run away after having been chased by the dog, or possibly hurt or killed. Right, Boomer? You damn idiot. Why are you trying to hurt me? You're hurting me. Stop biting. Anyway, he's being a brat, quite obviously. Well, the big question of the day is, hey, what happened to Bee? Yeah, some things happened in her life, and we're going to be talking about that later on in this video. We also got a few things that came in this week that we're going to be talking about, and as soon as we get him to calm down and behave himself, and I let him go back to his box, then we're going to go ahead and run our intro. So anybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget to licky, likey, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back right after this intro. Alright, well, we're back, and a lot of things have happened this past week. One of the things that I've gotten recently, I don't remember if I've ever shown it, was the brake master cylinder adapter kit for Gregory. This is what allows me to mount a bay window bus master cylinder into the early split window bus. And how it works is really simple, and I've mentioned it before in video. There's a ring that goes on that spaces the master cylinder back, because where the pin slides into it off of the brake pedal, it needs to be deeper or further back, stupid as it is. But there's a special rubber boot in here. There's all the mounting bolts, screws, and other washers, nuts, hardware, everything that's needed to get installed. A little bit spendy, but it's something that I need, and brakes are a really important thing, so I don't mind spending the money on the upgraded parts, especially since everything's running all Porsche stuff anyway. But we've got the master cylinder. There's some more parts coming up from CIP1 this week for Gregory the Bus. As you know, CIP1 is the sponsor of Gregory the Bus, so please hit up CIP1.com and purchase your Volkswagen parts from them. They've been really good to me. Anyways, their next box, as I said, is coming in tomorrow, so it misses the cut for this video, so hopefully it'll wind up in the next video. So we'll put that aside. Another thing we got this past week is a DuckShit.net vinyl cut sticker, and this comes from Ranchero 302 Me, specifically Mrs. Ranchero 302 Me. I was over their house the other night for dinner. Really, really nice folks. We kept our group really small, as you're supposed to, during this whole time of crisis. And they got a new vinyl cutter. Since they're going to be trapped at home, they decided they want to try something new. So they made me a wonderful DuckShit.net little sticker, and I think I'm going to stick it on the front of my 3D printer, which is sitting right over here beside me to my left. And, well, we'll see where I put it on there. I think it's going to go somewhere on the glass window, so that way you guys can see it whenever I'm running a print job. Some of you have been asking for more details on a 3D printer. It's been found to be interesting to some people just to see it run. I never thought that it would have been that interesting, but I guess I'm going to need to do more prints just to demonstrate. But this past week, I used some of the little Arduino technology that I've been playing with, as you know, and a friend of mine had a problem with getting his Wi-Fi to a certain portion of his house. Everywhere else in the house it reached just fine, except for to where his TV is. And he was really upset about that. I said, well, what you need is you need a Wi-Fi repeater. And he said, what's a Wi-Fi repeater? And I said, you know what, I think I got something for you. So I took this little ES8266, also known as a Node MCU, which really is a software programming method, not so much the device. But I found a firmware to load onto it. And this little, I think I spent $4 on it, works as a Wi-Fi repeater. It's just tremendous. I plugged it in just to a USB plug, just like you charge your cell phone with, and I stuck it on top of his refrigerator, and I set it up as a Wi-Fi repeater to the Wi-Fi on the other end of the house, and boom, his TV was connected and everything ran great. And this little guy, I think it streams about 5 megabits per second, is more than adequate for streaming movies. It's a little bit on the slow side. It's not the best thing for casual internet surfing, but he was able to watch his Netflix just fine. So I recommend something like this to anybody that would be interested in something like that. And it's really simple. I didn't even have to connect any devices to the pins. All the pins were left blank. So I thought to myself, well, this is great, and I got the thing plugged in. How the hell am I going to, like, put it inside of something so the pins don't get shorted out when he throws crap on top of it and yada yada? Then it just hit me. I've got a 3D printer. Why don't I just print a little case for it? So I found a 3D model online where this little guy actually just drops right into this case. Fits in there just perfectly. And then the cover closes on it. Now, I'm not going to close this one now because once it's snapped shut, they're kind of hard to get back open. And his, I actually even hot glued it around the edges just to make sure that it stayed closed. But that's all there was to it. I drilled a little hole in the top of it so the little light could shine through to show that it did have power so he knew when it was on. And he's been running with it for over a week and he's been more than happy. So that's a little something that I've been working on. And on the note of the little Arduinos, I've got another project which I'm going to show you right over here. So let me go ahead and get this camera adjusted so you can see. Alright, behind me here we have a whole bunch of stuff that I've been setting up. Here's the Arduino. It's not even a real Arduino, it's just the ESP12 little computer. And you know, I've been working with these and I'm very, very happy with how they work. I built my garage door opener on it, I built a Wi-Fi repeater with it, and I've tested a whole bunch of other different things to use these things a few different ways to automate a whole bunch of different things that I use around the house. So needless to say, these things are just everywhere. I've got a whole bunch of these things. I've ordered some more. There's just piles of them everywhere. I also picked up one of these successors, the ESP32, which has a faster CPU on it and more pinouts. So this makes it able to, well, operate more devices, frankly, by what you plug into it. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to test on one of these. And what I did was I actually pushed the firmware from my garage door opener that I had written the software for this guy onto this one with only some minor modifications because the Wi-Fi library was a little bit different. I plugged in some relays. And boom, the garage door opener was up and running just like that. I didn't detect any speed difference because the software that I've written for it and the kind of programming it takes is really so simple. It doesn't have to do a whole lot of BS at all. It's just plug and play pretty much. And no sooner you plug it in, it's up and running immediately. I mean, it's just a microcontroller. You don't have to wait for this thing to become active. It is. No sooner it goes in. So I really can't tell the difference between the speed on these, and I think down the road as I start to build my next project, which we're going to talk about right now, I may see a speed difference. Well, what we've got here is an array of 32 relays. Each one is an individual relay. And that was kind of important for my project because if I am out and about someplace in the wild, out in the field, and one of these relays were to pop, blow up for some reason, well, I just reach into my spare package of relays and I'll just install a spare one. These suckers are only going to be using 5 different screws on here for the wiring, and simply move it over the jumper to the setting it's supposed to be on if it's not already set that way, and 2 mounting screws. I'm not even going to put 4 in it, just 2 to mount it on the rail in the vehicle. And this is powered by 12 volts, and it's actuated by, I think, 3.3 volts or something like that. Whatever the Arduino produces out of its pinouts will cause this relay to flip off. So this is real simple. Now you probably say, hey Duckman, why did you use so many different individual relays? Why didn't you just use a board of 16 like this, you know, times 2? There gives you your 32 relays. Well, the reason for that is because if one of these relays goes bad, I got to change out the entire friggin' board. Now, cost is not the problem. These boards are really actually cheap. I think I got these for about $15 each. So total cost here is about $30. Stupid cheap. These relays, on the other hand, I think I got them for about $1.50 each. So you figure $1.50 each, 32 of them, you do the math, you know exactly what it turned out to. So this is actually a little bit more expensive. But if it comes down to it, as I said, if one of these has a problem, they're really easy to fix by just simply swapping them out. But anyway, these little controllers here, I think this little guy, the original one that I've been using on most of my programs, such as my garage door opener, is limited to only turning on and off, I think, about 6 relays. Obviously, 32 is out of the question. This little guy, the ESP32, has more pinouts, but once again, it doesn't quite operate 32. I think it's limited to, and I'm just throwing this number out there, but I think it's like 16. Obviously, once again, not going to work. So what I had to do is come up with a different method, and after doing some research and finding out that rather than, trying to reinvent the wheel, obviously there's another way to do it, I'm sure somebody else had a way, there's a way in using shift registers. And what shift registers are, it's a simple serial to parallel device that allows me to put a serial line, in other words, it sends data as blips. And this chip is actually very much like the one that's in the original Nintendo controller. The original Nintendo controller had 8 buttons. Up, down, left, right, select, start, B, and A. 8 buttons. There you are. You counted them. This chip also does 8 functions. And the 8 functions is simply, whoops, drop the chip somewhere, but it simply turns those button presses into a digital string. So that is the opposite of what this chip actually does, because this takes a digital string and turns it into a parallel. So rather than having buttons, we'll have relays. And each one of these little chips can control 8. So that means I need 4 chips in daisy chain, one attached to the next. And these chips are simply controlled by one of these controllers using only 3 pins. That's right, I don't have to run 32 different wires, plus 1 for ground, so 33 different wires. But this little guy here runs on 3. Kinda clever, really simple how this operates. Now I thought to myself, okay, well no problem. Let's see if there's any boards that are made with 4 of these already on it. Unfortunately, the harder I looked, I was unable to find anything. So I started to come up with a plan and a schematic to make my own little boards to snap on 4 of these. And of course this board isn't to exactly what I wanted to do, but that's fine. Again, I wanted something that I could fix and repair if something were to happen in the field, so no problem, we'll just install a socket, right? And stick the chip in it and go that route. And then I figured, once again, I'm trying to reinvent the wheel. Does somebody else have something out there? The answer is yes. These little guys here actually do exactly that. That is the same chip in a smaller form factor, and that was kind of a wowzer to me. I expected this guy to be the size of this chip, so slightly smaller than what this board is here. I expected that board to be about 4 times the size when I saw it in the photographs. I don't mind the size. Size on this is a good thing. Size matters. Smaller is the better in this case. So what I'll do is I'll solder on some of these pins, which are on here. I'm going to get some 90-degree ones, and this will allow me to take this entire card and click it into a socket that I'm going to custom build. These guys are also unique in that these pins that are on here, you can connect them end to end and daisy chain them together. So once they're connected end to end, they can slide into a socket of 32 pins, and boom, they're controlling 32 relays right off of 3 wires from a digital signal from one of these computers. And I don't know if I need one of the fast ones or the slow ones. I'm going to experiment with both. It's going to be kind of an interesting thing. I don't think I'm going to see any human detectable difference. It might be in the difference of, microseconds, which I probably won't be able to calculate in my mind and even notice. So we're not going to go that route, at least I don't think so. Well, I'm expecting some more of these, because these little guys are actually the input chips, and the set that I'm expecting is the output chips, the ones that control the relays. They look just like these. But how they're different is, again, they do an output signal. This receives an input signal. So in other words, I have the option to plug in 32 different types of switches. And depending upon how I set up the software inside here, I could have switch number 1 control relay number 1, or I could have switch number 1 control 2 relays. I could have switch number 1 control this relay, and this relay, or I could have switch number 1 turn on the whole damn thing. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I mean, the combinations are absolutely limitless, just absolutely limitless. So with that said, what I'm building here is a custom wiring harness for my Volkswagen, and I hate talking about this stuff in advance because once I start demonstrating and talking about things, everybody tells me how I'm a fool for doing what I want to do, and how it's a total mistake, and how it's not going to work, and I know that's exactly what somebody's going to be saying up here on YouTube. But anyway, that's fine. Say whatever you want. I'm going to demonstrate this thing working, and hopefully I'll have it together for the show this October. Now, on the note of Eleanor, people keep asking me, hey, where the hell is Eleanor? Eleanor is still at Classic Car Creations being worked on by Earl. Daily, I mean, even sometimes, a few times in an hour, I'm getting some kind of comment someplace or an email or people asking for updates on Eleanor. Eleanor is not in my possession. I'm not working on Eleanor. I keep saying this in every video every time people ask. You got to go over to Earl's channel and you have to see what Earl's doing. I'm not watching over Earl's shoulder. I'm not micromanaging. His business is not something that I control. His YouTube is not something that I control. If you want to see the updates, you have to watch his videos. And he just put up an update this week. It's like, even after his updates, people are still asking me. You got to go to his channel. Now, to find his channel, it's real simple. duckshit.net/CCC, which is Classic Car Creations, CCC. duckshit.net/CCC. That will take you right to his channel. I advise that you hit the subscribe button. I advise that you ring the dingle belly. That way you will get updates every time he uploads a new video. And he's not only working on Eleanor. Make sure that that's clear, you guys. He has a business where he restores classic cars of all different sorts. And my Eleanor just happens to be one of them. And he's taking care of that car, and hopefully I'll see her back soon. He's not too far away from doing the paint reveal, so if you want to know the color, stop asking me, go subscribe to Earl, and once you get there, when he paints the car, which is like really soon, it's really soon, I mean it's about to happen, he will be posting the updates, of course, and demonstrating what color Eleanor is exactly going to be. And I almost slipped up because I almost said it, but yeah, I'm not telling you, it's not going to happen here. You gotta go to Earl's channel. And yes, that is a ploy to get you to subscribe to Earl, because you should be over there anyway. If you like my stuff, you'll love Earl's stuff. I mean, his quality of everything he does is a magnitude over anything that I do. He does cars just museum quality work, museum quality. And I told him, listen, I'm building Eleanor to be a driver. I'm going to drive. Oh, it's going to be the best car at the car show. Great. That's awesome. I thank you, Earl. But Earl doesn't just stop there. The car is not going to be the quality of a new car. The quality of this restoration is going to be museum quality, which kind of terrifies me for a few reasons. One, the cost. Okay, I mean, it's certainly not going to be cheap. Earl is not cheap for that kind of work. But Earl's not going to settle for anything less. I understand that. I respect that. And the second reason it scares me is, God forbid, a stone chips it. Oh, makes me clench my ass just to think about it. Well, I'm going to have to definitely get my shop built, and Eleanor is going to have a special cave where she gets parked, where there's absolutely nothing in it except for soft, poofy things that can't possibly scratch, bang, mar, chip, dent. You guys get the drift. So that's where Eleanor is at right now. Another thing I'd like to show you that's still working to this day, and working quite wonderfully, which you saw updating probably here in the background. I hadn't paid it much mind. That's my subs counter. That thing's been running now for about the last month or so, I think. And it's keeping track of all my subs and adding it all together. Now, I'm almost at 50,000 subs, which kind of surprises me. I didn't think they'd add up quite that quickly. But the addition of B on my channel has kind of gotten me a lot more interest. Kind of, you know, a lot to be said for the power of boobs. That's all I gotta say. She's really sweet, she's really wonderful, and she brings a lot of great things to the channel, but the things that people notice without watching the video, well, they're big and rubbery, and they're absolutely fabulous, is all I have to say to that one. So on the subject of B, well, just where the hell is she this week, and why haven't we seen her? Let me go ahead and leave the story to her. Boop.
Hey guys, it's B McQueen. You might be wondering why I'm not in Duckman's video today, and that's because I was pretty sick last week and I started to show COVID-19 symptoms, and so I had to go in and get tested. Unfortunately, those results are not back at the time of filming, so I am in a quarantine period in my own house, away from everybody, and so I will not be filming with the Duckman probably this week. If I get those test results back and they're negative, you guys will start seeing me again next week, but if they're positive, I'll probably be taking a 2-week hiatus from YouTube, but you guys can go over to Instagram and keep up with me and all the things that I'll be doing to try to occupy my brain and not go completely batshit bonkers. I'll be doing a lot of arts and crafts, probably being weird with my dogs. I started a mural on one of the walls in my hallway. We'll see how my landlords feel about that. And probably be doing a lot of work around the yard as well. So check out my Instagram. I'll try to post regularly. I am feeling a lot better, but unfortunately I can't go back to work or be around people until I know the results of those tests, because I'm a responsible human being and not a complete sack of ass. So please wash your hands, follow your state and CDC recommended guidelines. If you are sick, please stay the fuck at home. We're all in this together. Thanks.
So anyways, after all that, yeah, it's kind of surprised me too. I hope she's going to be alright, and I think she's going to be alright. She, as of today, just before she recorded the email, in fact, she said she was starting to feel better, and that's a good thing. It seems that with that illness, you get it really bad, or for the majority of us, you get next to nothing, and that might have been the case for her. The good thing is, for me, since I have been exposed to her sometime in the last 2 weeks, is that by the time she gets her test results back, it will be exactly 2 weeks since the last time I saw her. So if I don't come down with something by that time, I'm going to say that I'm probably in the clear. And if she does come up with something and it does say that she was positive for the results, I'm certainly going to watch after myself for at least a few more days in case something happens. But I will say one thing about me, and that's if you watch me working, my hands are usually kept very, very clean. Even if I bury them in grease, they're very, very clean because I have a problem with excessive hand washing. And that's been a problem since I was a kid. Well, I can't even really call it a problem because it's probably kept me kind of healthy as a result. So the side effect of it is has been a good thing. And I don't get sick very often, maybe about once every 10 years. Now that I've said that, I'm probably going to get sick. And I had some kind of bronchitis or something, which I think was allergies with a postnasal drip that turned into bronchitis within a week. And that turned into an issue, but I don't think it was any regular type of sickness. And that was just 2 years ago. The last time I got sick was actually the swine flu, if you guys remember that one. And that got me pretty damn good. I was down for almost 2 weeks with some severe pneumonia and the lack of even wanting to live. Yeah, that was probably the worst I've ever felt in my life. And, well, like anything else, I got through it, I got over it. Unfortunately, though, not everybody can say the same thing about this recent illness. I'm not going to carry on too much about it, but let's just say I lost my grandma this week, and that's got me and the family pretty messed up about that one. She was 92 years old. You know, she survived so much in her lifetime, having come from Nazi Germany, of all places, having grown up running from the Allied forces dropping bombs on her houses that she lived in, literally running from bombs, hiding in basements, trying to get away, to get back outside after the bombing stopped to find that all the houses around her house are gone, except for the one that she was in. She had some just remarkable stories of the stuff that she had just endured through her childhood. I mean, just wow. Wow is all I have to say. And for something like this stupid disease to have taken her, it's amazing. She's such a strong woman as she was, that at 92 years old, you know, I mean, what do you say or do? What do you say or do? I'm sorry everybody else that you have to watch this, and I'm sorry for everybody else that has been through this, and I'm sorry for anybody else that has lost somebody. But I mean, the best thing you could do is just you know, keep that social distance if you're worried about this thing. Keep away from people that have immunity disorders or problems, and if you are somebody that has that, you know, do what you got to do. You know, either wear your mask or stay out of public or ask for help. Do something, really, you do. I mean, I still work to this day. The good news is I work with only 1 or 2 other people in a very small environment, so I don't see a whole lot of people from day to day. So the likelihood of me getting ill or me spreading something is pretty slim. So I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing, and that's continuing to wash my hands and keep my distance from people, especially people that are sneezing or coughing. And I can't believe people still do that in public, considering the recent news of the last few months, which I don't know how the hell you couldn't know about it living anywhere on this planet. But moving forward, you know, I got me, I got Boomer, and I've got a lot of Volkswagens that need a lot of work, so I'm going to do the best that I can to keep things going here and keep my YouTube channel running. And this Wednesday, you're going to see me replacing another floor pan for Vochowagens. That's right, Vochowagens' YouTube channel, so please check him out. YouTube.com/Vochowagens. As of just a few minutes ago from me recording this video, he broke 100 subscribers, which allowed him to change his URL. And I'm so happy for him for it, because it used to be like GLC Soccer or something. He's a soccer player, and a very good one, I might add. Every time he goes on a tour with the military over to the Middle East, he's always joining one of the local soccer teams and just kicking everybody's ass. And I'm proud of him. He's a really cool guy, and you'll see a video of us on Wednesday working on his floor pan. And it's entertaining to say the least. It's a very gripe-heavy video because I decided to bring up and talk about all the crappy things that people said about my most popular floor pan video in the world, which happens to be mine. And I love touting that. I mean, I can toot my horn on that one because it happened, and I didn't expect it to. It really didn't. But if you go on YouTube and you type in VW floor pans, and maybe even just floor pans, at one point just floor pans was turning me up in the top 3. For any vehicle, I was still in the top 3. but VW floor pans or Beetle floor pans or something Volkswagen related in floor pans, you will find one of my videos at least at #1 and several more shortly thereafter from my other cars following up. So we're going to do another one. This one's going to be very gripe heavy to talk about everything that people either shot me down on, said miserably, or questions that people have asked. And we're going to try to answer them up in that video while I'm doing the work. And we've got Gabrielle helping me from Vochowagens, who speaks a lot of Spanish, by the way, and there's a little bit of Spanish exchange in the video. I don't know a whole lot of Spanish, but it was fun to practice a little bit that I had. So anyway, that's it for this week. Thanks you guys for watching. Don't forget to licky, likey, comment, subscribe, pluck the dingle belly. That way you get updates every time I upload a video. Check out duckshit.net for all my different YouTube channels. And if you'd like to check out B. McQueen or Vochowagens, check out duckshit.net because you'll find the links there as well as down below in the video description. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. We'll see you next week.